think this is the first time that Cabot isn't going to get pole position.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome along once again to the 2016 GPVWC World GT Championship. Round 4 of 7 from Spa-Francorchamps, Belgium is going to get underway in about 10, 15, 20 minutes time at 8 o'clock in England, at least, or there or thereabouts, and it's set to be another fantastic race in this season. I'm Josh Randerson, as ever, going to be taking you around through the action, and joining me in the commentary booth on Go Commentary tonight. No, it's not only the new commentator, it's Nicolas Hillebrand once again. And Nicolas, it's Spa. Everyone likes it, one of the dual tracks. Everyone wants to win here.
Yes, definitely. It's a very famous track, obviously. Stunning surroundings, and the Ardennes are just making a perfect ground for a stunning racetrack. We got uphill, downhill, we've got everything. We've got the famous Rouge corner. And yeah, I think this 1 hour race here will be very interesting to watch today.
Indeed it will. As it stands, Russell Cabot is our championship leader. He has won every single race this season and will be hoping to make it 4 out of 4. 75 points is the Estonian on right now. Thomas Jacobs, his nearest rival, a full 26 points behind him. And then just 6 points behind him is the Peruvian Nico Barkley in P3 in the driver standings at the moment. The team's championship is currently being won by Street Fighter Racing Systems, with TSA Racing 15 points behind, posing a very real threat to the Australian outfit. Scuderia Basilea stand in 3rd place as the reigning team's champions. But with an hour's worth of racing ahead of us, all that could change. As it stands, Carlos Andres Aldin, speaking of change, for Stax Racing, is on provisional pole. He's only a 10th ahead of Risto Cabot in a slightly newly adorned Street Fighter Racing Systems car. It must be said, but Cabot himself is only 500th of a second faster than RPM Racing's Argenis Riera. Now, this is set to be a bit of an interesting one, because if Carlos Andres Aldin gets pole position, it would be the first time this season someone other than Cabot has gotten pole. That in itself would be an interesting one, because, well, it'll be interesting to see how Ledeen would cope from pole position. That said, Cabot is not very far behind him, Brewer not very far behind them. It's a full 4 tenths to Nico Barkley in 4th place to Scuderia Basilea. But there are a lot of different chances to get this pole position with 4 minutes 25 seconds left to go on track, and it's not an easy circuit to master at all, is it, Nicholas?
No, definitely not, especially in GT cars, which don't have as much grip as, for example, Formula 1 cars, which we mostly see here, probably every single year in F1, or the prototypes, which are very famous cars as well. It's a very technical track, because Rouge, for example, you have to have a very precise line to get it right. It's very fast, and you can't make a mistake there, because you can easily spin it out and crash it, as we saw earlier in this session. Not this with the streamer, sadly, at that point. But still, we've got corners, for example, where Risto Cabot is going through now, Blanchimont, very fast left-hander. Even though there's runoff now, if you hit the anti-turf, you can easily spin it into the wall there, easily get it out of control, and then the lap is completely ruined.
It is, yes. I'd like to go to Risto Cabot if we can, Matt, because, well, Matt, I think our cameraman, because he's just gone pole by a full 8 tenths of a second, and he's doing a lap. But, well, there goes any chance of following Risto Cabot for a pole lap, because, well, for a lap on the track, he's just gone pole, that's more important.
Absolutely stunning.
2:16.2, and that's 8 tenths quicker than Carlos Andres Aldin's. Well, there goes any chance of him taking pole in a hurry, unless he can produce an absolute barnstormer. He'd have to go a whole second quicker with the Peruvian, and as much as I'm sure he's a good driver, that seems like a very insurmountable task. It seems a bit of a task, but not one he can't deal with, of course. All drivers have a chance at a win, as long as they are still running and qualifying and racing, etc., etc. And, well, he we know is a good driver, but nonetheless, we know that Cabot is quick too. If it's possible, I'd quite like to have a look at Boya Milan now. Boya is a perfect candidate for us to run a lap the track with because he's coming around the last corner now and into the pits.
And he goes into the pits.
Thank you very much, Boya. You know exactly what's beating Thomas Jacobs. He's as good as anyone. He's in P6 at the moment. If we can go on board with him, that would be lovely as we start a lap of this track. Going into turn 1, La Source, the long hairpin, very tight turn, got to clip the apex nicely and get a good exit. That is paramount because it leads directly into turn 2 and then through the Eau Rouge Radion complex. It's a very, very well-known corner, this. One of the most famous in racing. Flat out in the Formula 1 car. Pretty much flat out in these with a bit of lift. And then through 4, 5, onto the Camel Straight, the back straight, top speed, and count it here. This is where you'll gain your speed and then lose it all the way into Lacombe. 7, 8, and 9 these turns. Brake hard, find the apex, touch the apex. Don't go too far up the track, but make sure you keep your momentum through here because they're coming out of this complex. You come into Purcell, the 10th turn, a 180-degree right-hander. Easy to lure yourself into the gravel trap here. Make sure you don't do that because if you go off, it's quite easy to lure into what little gravel trap there is. Then turn 11, the left-hander, 90 degrees. Again, easy to clip the wall here. Races can be ended if you're not careful. Then you charge down to pull on the long left. Goes on and on and on. Understeer City here if you're not careful. But Thomas Jacobs is careful and gets a good enough line through there. Turn 13, the right-hander coming up and it follows directly into Campus. The 14th turn, almost a mirror image of it going the other way. Long right follows long left, or long left follows long right rather. Then it's Stavelot, turn 15. If you've got traffic here, it can be a nightmare to let through. I've had an experience of that myself and it was not a pleasant one. But the less said about that, the better as he comes round turn 16. Paul Frere down into turn 17. Blanchimont, the left-hander which he just approaches now. A very, very critical corner because turn 18 follows it again. So easy to go off here if you're not careful. Tricky at high speeds, but Jacobs manages it perfectly. Then it's down into turn 19 and turn 20. The bus stop chicane. Now a right-left instead of a right-left, left-right. But 2 turns that he has to navigate and goes into the pits. Does not take the final corner, leading that on the start-finish. But it doesn't matter because they've seen a lap of the track anyway. And qualifying is over. So anyone not on a lap will not get another one in. Anyone on a lap will have to finish it. And it is the last chance for Carlos Anderson Deans to usurp Capet's pole position. He's got to make up 8 tenths if he wants to. And Capet, of course, in the pits, cannot respond to this. So it is the Dean's pole position to take. It looks like, I'm not entirely sure, I don't have live timing with me per lap. But based entirely on how far Capet has, it's going to be a very tall order, Nico, isn't it, for Carlos to take this?
Yes, of course, 8 tenths to gain in 1 lap is a huge order to make, especially on this last second lap that he is going to make. He has to do everything perfect now, locking up into Campus now. He's pushing, you can definitely see that, and trying to make up these 8 tenths that Cape got out of nowhere, it seems.
It has, yeah, it would be a miracle for him if he can make this work. He was pole set up before in this session, as we saw, but nonetheless, he could make it work for him, could. Carlos, you know, the Stax Racing team have not had a pole position this year in World GT. No one but Capet has taken pole position in World GT. It's entirely possible as long as he keeps that car running, although the chances are slim. Then again, you should never count a good man out, and Carlos Anderson Dean is definitely a good driver. Coming on the last 2 turns, he has now got a bit of a slide on, so he is pushing that car to its limits. Not to say he won't take pole position, but what's he going to do? He's even going to improve? I don't think he has. No. He has not improved. Stays 8 tenths behind Capet. Next person who can overtake him is Thomas Higgins, but he's 1.6 seconds down. Now that is an even taller order for the Aussie, but he can make an improvement if he can cross the line. And apparently one of the bikes he runs is spent bus stop. Higgins goes up to 5th place. A great lap from the Aussie. He's a top 5 qualifier, and that is going to be fantastic for him. It's another great qualifying position for the Aussie, but Racel Cabot, the cream of the field by a long way. 8 tenths of a second almost ahead of his nearest challenger. That is what you call a dominant pole position. in a dominant pole position, a very, very dominant one. That's just the word to describe it, isn't it, Nico?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that's all that can be said, to be honest. Well, it's just one of those qualifiers, isn't it? It takes your breath away how quick someone can be. We're speechless. We're speechless. That's how good it is. We're just waiting for the session to take over the warm-up and for the drivers to get themselves familiarised with the race settings. But let's look through the field then. See if people have done well. Thomas Hinds P5, that's worth noting as well. Edgar Ruiz, 9th for YTF1. That is a very good result for him as well. Absolutely not to be discounted. We have an Eric Strana as well. Welcome to World GT. He will start in P10, which is a good result for the Swede.
Yeah, he's replacing Tommy Oyala today.
Yep, the reigning Masters champion, of course, and Strana has won so much here at GPV. So, you know, who's to say he can't win here? He could probably take the fight to Capit, but it'll take some doing.
Yes, definitely. And the Corvette is very strong overall, but as we saw at Istanbul, for example, the Ferrari is not a force to be messed with and not to be taken lightly. That Ferrari is absolutely stunningly fast. And... What?
Yep, fuel runs better in the Corvette. I know, very easy thing to do. But I'm not entirely sure whether the world could hear you there, Matt. I don't know if I had the button pressed. Remember, if you do want to speak, you can press the button. Because the way we have this set up, the cameraman can't speak. We don't usually get to talk to the cameraman, actually, but it's a good thing to get them more exposure. So, good to hear you on the broadcast if we did hear you there, Matt. Nonetheless, drivers will now be, familiarising themselves. We've got a little jokes in the chat of the in-game there, but, always good to see people enjoying themselves and get familiarising themselves pre-race. It's one of those things, isn't it? SImracing, it's a hobby at the end of the day, so you got to enjoy it, really, haven't you?
It's not only a hobby, it's always fun to do, but for some people it's just a hobby for the side things, for others it's more than a hobby. It's, when you...
Oh yes, just had a great chat from Mr. Matthew Allington here. On the GPVWC forums, and I think we've shared it on the Facebook page as well, we have actually got a survey going on right now about how we can improve the GPVWC as a whole. So if you are listening and you'd like to help contribute to the future of the league, do feel free to fill in the survey and make your voice heard. Of course, you can fill it in anonymously if you like, or you can attach your name to your responses so we know exactly who thinks what. So, we would really appreciate it if you could fill that out, because we all want the league to improve, don't we, Nico?
Sorry?
We all want the league to improve, and filling out that survey is one way to do it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, always feedback from all the other people is the best way to improve, obviously.
Yeah, always valuing your feedback, so do fill that survey in, and we will make sure we use that feedback wisely. Speaking of wisely using things, time will be used by the drivers now. 7 minutes and 30 they've got to familiarise themselves with how those cars behave on a race situation. So, I'm just going to say this right now. Use that time wisely, because if you don't, you might not be prepared for the race. Being prepared for a 1 hour race is something that you have to be doing these days. It's failing to prepare, it's preparing to fail, some people say. Although that brings us to a good point. How do some people do it? They can not practice and yet be gigantically quick. Answers on a postcard, please, to how that happens. Do you have any idea, Nico?
Excuse me, my sound just cut out again.
Oh, well, that is not necessarily good, but not necessarily bad. But nonetheless, I should probably end this line of argument before it goes off on a tangent. That's the thing, though. What did we talk about during the warm-up? We've talked about the survey. I don't usually talk about the upcoming races until the end of the broadcast. This has not gone well. I've run out of conversation topics already, and we've got 6 minutes 6 minutes to go about any warm-up. We do have a staff management survey as well, a staff survey, and broadcasts and learning things if you want to get involved with the league. We have one for those as well. If you want to help out in any way, if you would like to be involved, you know, and we've got the league discussion section of the forums where you can look at that. And we also have posted the surveys to the Facebook page as previously mentioned. So if you'd like to voice your opinion on how the league is right now, or if you'd like to volunteer to help the league run in the future, fill out either of those surveys respectively, or both even, if you really want to help out. And it would really help. Oh, and by the way as well, if you do cameras, it's a perfect opportunity to spectate the server. Which is, because they don't allow servers apart from comms team, so if you want to spectate and help us out at the same time, become a cameraman. We've got people who can teach you how to do that. I am one of them. So don't be afraid. Just say you want to do it. You know, it's one of those things. You have to try it, man. Just do the surveys, you know. Do things. It's good. It's healthy. Keeps you alive.
You only get smarter.
Yep, you'll only get smarter. There's no gain. There's nothing to be lost and everything to be gained. This is going to be a fun one, isn't it? If we're talking about, if I've started my nonsense and there's still 5 minutes to go before the race, you can tell this is going to be good. You know what this broadcast needs? Alcohol-free beer, and I've got that sorted already. I've got my San Miguel 0.0 out and ready to go. See? This is brilliant. Alright, it will be brilliant if I can get the blasted thing open. What's happening? It's on strike, that's what's happened. My alcohol-free beer has gone on strike. You see, if this was a German beer, it wouldn't have done that.
German beer, best beer. I would say if I was biased, but...
Yeah, I have had a bottle of Beck's Blue, actually. It's not my favourite, but it's quite nice. There we go, it's open. Finally got it open. Well, you know, you gotta have your beers sometime. Well, let's. I know that, well, maybe, but I think we could all do with a beer at one time of our lives. Oh, yeah. Well, this is the problem, because Matthew Anton can't be heard by everyone. I'm having these conversations with them. When you're speaking to me or having conversation, it would be lovely if you could press that broadcast button so we can all hear you.
Hello.
Yep, that is Matthew Wellington, our cameraman for tonight. Always going to give our cameraman exposure. If he has anything to contribute to discussions, not necessarily what's happening on track, because I'm sure we'll be on top of that, but if he has anything he can contribute to a discussion that we have, he might even turn up on broadcast, so we might get 3 of them. Look at yours, eh? We're privileged here. So with about 3 minutes to go in qualify, well, the warm-up even. I've lost my bearings so much I now think that qualifying is a warm-up session, and the warm-up is a qualifying session. With 3 minutes to go in warm-up, it is Mr. Risto who has not even set a lap, and Mr. Tobias Olsen who leads it. But warm-up is really just for that, warming yourself up, isn't it? Get your car set up and ready, and make sure everything's going to plan.
Also, of course, trying to prepare for the race best as possible after last round. He had a rather embarrassing DNF as he got out of the pit box where he had a scheduled pit stop, hit the pit wall and spun into the garage and lost his rear wheel. He's probably going to try everything to make it a better finish. Well, it can't really be worse finish this time. But yeah, I'm sure he's going to be thrilled to get a better race this time.
You will want a better race indeed. We've got people out here who all want a good race. 28 runners and riders this race, almost a full field.
I think it is a full field actually, isn't it?
Oh yeah, because no, it's a 30-car grid and
yes.
We've got 28 of them. Only 2 cars missing, but that's still a very good attendance record. Obviously not quite the 100%, but very respectable indeed.
Aren't we missing the Tier 4 cars, or are those here?
Well, Tier 4 Motorsport pulled out halfway, they pulled out before round 1. That's why Tier 4 and Epic are here, because they and FA withdrew from the series.
Okay.
You see, you learn something new every day, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, speaking of learning things, we will learn who the race winner is after a whole hour's worth of racing. I think it's the only time-based series we run here at GPV, you know, a full hour instead of laps. So it's so easy to get a lap over or under. So you want to, fuel is one of those things you don't want to do. Because Risto Captain has underfueled before in Atlantic Series. He will know how much that hurts to underfuel. So fuel is of the essence and you want to pack too much almost. Of course, people can zero stop in hour-long races, although I've noticed from other series that I have noticed from experience the Ferraris are worse on that zero stop strategy and sometimes do have to stop. It's one of those things. All the cars offer quick, so the Ferraris is that it's quick, but it's more vulnerable to pit stops.
Yes, definitely. We had that last race, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. So, of course, you know a lot about these cars, racing them elsewhere. So, and I don't. You can be the technical advisor to my random shouting shenanigans. As Race Director Chris Williamson just wishes everyone good luck. I'm going to assume we're going to go to the race as soon as this time hit zero by the looks of things, as we get ready for an hour's worth of action-packed racing.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
Our factor man giving his very vocalness once again, as we are now used to having. It's good that we still got him in our factor team, must be said. It really does make my race. To see him and hear him and for him to be there, it all makes life better again when it's going down. But nonetheless, we are about 10 seconds away from the cars embarking on their formation lap and an hour's worth of Belgian brilliance awaiting us at the start of this broadcast time. So, Bristol Captain for Street Fighter Racing Systems, the perfect man so far, 3 wins out of 3 races. Can he make it 4 for 4? That is the question that will be on everyone's lips. He leads the field away for Street Fighter. In second place is Carlos Andres Udines for Stax Racing, and it's Nico Barkley in P3 for Scuderia Basilea. Argenis Riera is in 4th place for the RPM Racing Ferrari, and it's Thomas Hintz in P5 for Cosmo Autosport. P6 is Boy Milan for ST Racing, and he's followed by Thomas Jacobs in P7 in TSA Racing Chevrolet Corvette. Jordan Meeks rounds out the 4th row in the other Scuderia Basilea Ferrari, then it's Edgar Ruiz in P9 for YTF1, and Eric Strana ends up row 5 and the top 10 in the Ice Cold Racing car. Matthew Cherman P11 in another Corvette, this time for TSA Racing, and Marius Nicolai P12 for Team Mad Cape Racing Team. Why I call them Team Mad Cape Racing Team is beyond me. Tobias Olsen P13 in the other RPM car, then it's Casper Carter J-Dick, and is Eric Strana's running mate in P14. Bart DeVos rounds out the top 15, if you can see there, it's a point position, but he'll be happy with that P15 for Cosmo Motorsport, and Philip Morby P16 in the YTF1 car. Mark Nasriffel P17 arriving for Alberoni Racing Team, and P18 is Daniel Benefield for TTF Racing Chevrolet Corvette. P19 Shane Burke the Simtech Racing Team, Simtech Racing indeed, Simtech, it's a Simtech car. It's a Simtech Aston Martin, that's all you need to know. And P20 is Mark Fuller in the other ST Ferrari. 21st is Florid Engel in the first of the 2 Epic Racing Vipers, then it's Diego Carranza and the other Stax Racing car in P22. Rory Collins P23 for Racing Team Short, Sherman Van der Sloot 24th in the other Simtech car, then it's Christoph Lichtenstein P25 in the other Epic Racing car, in the other Epic Racing Viper. Then it's Brett Burkhardt P26 for TTF Racing, Gavin Judd P27 for Mad Cape, and rounding out the field is Gerrit Rees and the other Alberoni Racing Ferrari in P29. It should be added there is a Stax Racing in 2nd and 22nd, so all of the 2s for Stax. Interesting fact for you, but Hammett leading the race away has to be the clear favourite, doesn't he, Nico?
Yes, definitely. We thought last race that he had lost it after his pit stop, but we did see that accident in the pit entry when... who was it again? I think it was... Already. What?
You've forgotten already. Never mind, it's... We're all touched upon it earlier anyway, so who's your prediction to win the race then, all things considered?
To be completely honest, I think Cabot is still my favourite because he's shown absolute brilliant form in this season so far. He has shown consistency, almost no mistakes. We just saw how quick he can go on this track in qualifying. 8 tenths faster than second place. and that's a margin in these cars especially. Coming down to the start-finish, having said that, the first corner here is rather tricky. La Source, often you can see massive accidents in these. And yeah, I think gonna be, well, kind of decided if there is gonna be an incident. We might have the favorite of me, for example, Capit, being DNFing already.
Yeah, it's possible. I personally completely agree with that. I think Bristol's the favourite, but I'm going to tip Eric Strawn and give him a good run for that win. I think he's capable of very good things. Eau Rouge, a difficult corner too, but the car's lining up on the grid now. We have 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights for the 4th time this season. We're on the way. Good start from Bristol. Cameron, by the looks of things, seems to have got a good one. And Ledeen does not. And Nico Barkley looking to have a go Cameron already down into turn 1. Doesn't quite get the move done, but he sticks with the Estonian and it's going to give him a chance in the feature. Ledeen leads still, the rest of them in third away, but it's Cameron and Barkley going into Eau Rouge almost side by side. You can tell how much the Peruvian wants this place. He's not going to give it up without a fight, of course. Here's Risto Cameron, but Barkley chasing, predatoring.
And he loses it in Rouge.
Oh, we got a big crash at the back there. Debris everywhere. And that, I'll tell you what is there. That is Thomas Hinds who's got involved with it. He's right at the back. That looks like a race ender for the Aussie. And in front, I saw a car spinning coming out of Eau Rouge as well. So, disaster already. Hinds looks to be out of it.
Yes, he lost the wheel.
Yep, he's lost the wheel. That will infuriate the Aussie. That has not been a good race start for him at all. Let's see. And Nico Barkley leads. Well, I'm barely able to keep up with the action, but Barkley's leading. Nico Barkley is taking the lead from Risto Captain in all this, and Risto Captain's not got the best of starts in that sense. Barkley leads in fourth, going to be at Basilia, but what's happened to Thomas Hinds? I'm going to go back and have a look at that right now.
They were side by side at the beginning of the Rouge, and I don't remember who was next to him. I couldn't really see it, but the person who was inside of him for the next corner, for the right uphill sweep, basically just hit him trying to get a good racing line.
Oh,
and,
yes, I see now. It was Hinds and Weeks. It was Hinds and Jordan Weeks. He seemed to just come across slightly. I'm not one to judge whose fault that was. That was one for the stewards. But for it to happen in Eau Rouge, on the to have that from a first turn is not a good thing to have. It will not please Thomas Hinds at all, and it probably won't please Jordan Weeks either. But it's not my job to say whose fault it was. It's my job to tell you that Philip Morley has had a blinder of a start. He's into 11th PS, he's into 11th already, and it's a disaster start because Motorsport, Bart DeVos is now effective last. He's in P27. What has happened there? He was running a lot higher up, but something has happened to the Belgian and he has dropped places dramatically. He was in P15 and he just seemed to go wide from here. I can't tell what's happened. My replay is way too laggy. Brett Metcalf's felt the force as well. He's gone off a bit and he's now taken either damage or something. But at the end of the first lap, it's Nico Barkley who now leads by a comfortable margin, 1.2 seconds almost over Risto Capis. Carlos Andres and Deans tails it, 7 tenths behind. And then we have a little bit of a duel going on all behind them for every single position, really, to be honest. David Young's got a good start as well in P17 and on the cusp of points for Mad Cape Racing Team. Very good for the Swiss driver if he can do that. Well, he's under threat from Sharon Van Den Suit and Carantha. And at the front, Weeks under attack from Olsen. This is the battle for P6. Weeks holds P6 at the moment, but don't discount the Swede for making a decent move on the Englishman here. He's fallen behind a bit, but we all know what Tobias is capable of. He's a very good driver who's driven for RPM quite a few times now in his career since the team has joined the GPV. Gets a bit of a slide on this Tobias, but don't discount him from a potential chance from P6 because we all know what he's capable of. And I think, Nico, if you can get the run on Weeks, you could quite easily give him a go for that P6.
Yes, definitely. At the moment, we've got the field quite nicely bunched up together still, despite this chaos at the start. And I believe we can expect a lot more fights in the next couple of laps.
We can, yes. Tobias, of course, has driven for RPM before in the Masters Series. I should know, I was his teammate. But a very good talented driver indeed, Tobias. He's very capable. He didn't get that car at the end, of course. I'm sure he'll score points. And, yeah, fair point. third through sixth separated by just over a second. Not much in it at all. Really not much in it at all, to be honest with you. And Thomas Jacobs, speaking of not much in it, is having to go Carlos Anderson Deans. Can't do it through this turn probably, but he'll have a look into the bus stop at this very cold bus stop chicane, because it's 4 degrees in the air. It is very pointed out, 4 degrees in the air and 6 degrees on the track. Grip is not abundant here, and that might be why people are struggling a bit.
Now they're going into lap 3, and they're lapping Brad Metcalf, who's still in the pits, probably after first lap damage.
Yeah, Jacobs has got a very good run here, and indeed, look at this, he's going for it already almost. Gets a superior run out of La Source, has a great chance down through Eau Rouge Radio and onto Camel Straight, going into the turns directly succeeding that. If he can get a good enough draft here and he has the gearing on his advantage, he could have a go at the Deans. The Deans goes outside, which will become the inside. So he's got the superior line. He's got the superior line, but Jacobs has a chance. He's into P3 at the moment. Will he hold it? That's the question. Thomas Jacobs going into Lacombe. Can he hold it?
Side by side.
He can't. Thomas Jacobs finds a way through to go into P3. He finds a way. He finds that way in. Weeks challenging. We're going to lovely little fight for 5th, 6th and 7th. Tobias also trying to go for Jordan Weeks here for P6 there. Whoa, trying to get myself ahead of myself there. Should not do that. But nonetheless, Olsen challenging Weeks, challenging Milan. This is a 3-way, 4-way fight if you count the Dean for P4. Olsen just goes a little bit wide there, clouts the wall slightly. That may not benefit the Swede, but what will benefit Carlos Anderson Deans is that, because it means that Olsen isn't in the train. But Milan very much in the train though, and speaking of people closing, Resto Capit's starting to close the gap to Nico Barkley. He's done it significantly. In fact, the gap's only about half a second by eye. With the 10th in the race gone, he's closed it to 5 tenths. This could be quite something with the Estonian if he can pull this off now. He's dropped the position at the start. Don't take that to mean he's a down and outer though. We all know how quick Risto is. Has never taken a title at GPVWC, but yet bang on this being his first. Will not make all the races, but could wrap it up with the race to spare if he wins everything. Then again, you never know what's going to happen in the GT race. That's why we all love it. Captain versus Barkley then for the lead now. It's closed up enough to call it a fight, and it's going to be Peru versus Estonia for the lead of this race.
Oh, and Riera is trying to challenge Strana for P9, and he's side by side with the chicane.
And Strana holds P9 then. The Swede has already moved up his position from his starting grid, but back to the front, it's Barkley Captain. That's the fight we really want to be looking at. This one is going to be the closest one. I don't know whether that's going to be enough of a draft for Captain to use, but he's half a second again. If he can make something work from this far back, it'll show just how good Risto is. He's got a bit of a draft. He's got to multiply that draft as he gets closer. Barkley already going defensive. He knows how much of a threat Captain is. Doesn't need to, though, because no inroads are being made. No inroads are being made. Barkley has the straight line speed. I'm tempted to say that's lower wing, which explains why Captain is gaining in the corners. The Estonian must be running more downforce on that Ferrari and gaining in the corners. Meanwhile, Olsen has passed Jordan Weeks somewhere down the line. You are quite right, Matthew Allington. And now Weeks is going for it again. This is going into Brussels here. Turn 10 into turn 11. Can't make it happen yet, can the Englishman, but he's going to try. Going to keep it going, going to keep it trying to make something work. Try as you might, that is the only way you're going to make positions work. He'll keep on that fight, but nothing happening just yet, unfortunately.
Riera's past Strana. He just moved fast on the Camel Straight earlier. And right behind those, Daniel Benefield will try to challenge Marius Nicolai for P11, I think.
We've got a points change as well. Shane Burke's got damage. Shane Burke's got some quite significant damage there, actually. He's lost his son. How'd that happen? I'm going to check that out.
He hit the wall of the corner with no name.
Oh, Burke just understeers off, coming through turn 11. So easy to do. And he's taken the damage forward. He will drop down the order. That has promoted his teammate, Sherwin van der Sloot, in P15. So not a total loss of points for Simtech. Cars being further away is not something to see. Meanwhile, back at the front, we've got Captain Barkley again. This is going to become a recurring theme this race. I'm calling it right now. The nearly but not quite sagas we see here at GPVWC. Will one overtake the other? Olsen round, big time! Wow, very big off for Tobias Olsen in P5. What's happened? Nicolas Hillebrand was going crazy there, and rightly so. What's happened there? Olsen.
Milan just lost the rear, and Olsen almost crashed into him, evaded him.
Oh, yes.
Oh my
Olsen,
goodness me, that could have been a huge accident.
Don Weeks is out as well. He spins in the ensuing carnage and completely smashes into the wall. So Boyer Milan's mistake has had a bit of an after effect. Of course, nothing could be done. It was a mistake after all. But Cristo Capital was a fantastic one on Nico Barkley. It's all happening now. Will the Estonian do it this time? Barkley doesn't go defensive, gives Capital a chance. Doesn't go for it, doesn't take it. A very conservative move there from Mr. Capital, or lack of move rather, takes the sensible approach, level-headed thinking with the Estonian. Doesn't go for the move, will rather line it up for when he's more...
And Tobias Olsen's round.
Oh yes, we have a Tobias Olsen round again. And he's retired now, so that is it. And on this straight, he's retired. He has lost it coming out of Eau Rouge. Philip Morby now takes the points position finale for YTF1. A complete lack of English on my part, but you know what I mean, don't you? Morby into 15th.
Yeah, Olsen was sticking to the grass to let his teammate through, and Skrana then just lost it and smashed it into the grass and into the wall.
As well. What's with this? He's in P12. Everybody's spinning, like I said. Not easy when the track's just 6 degrees. He's now on the third from Diego Carranza. Casper College. And look at this coming on the back of Barkley again. He's not going to land it up through here, not through Stavelot. Might just have a goal going into the bus stop at this rate. Must be said, Bristol, a very level-headed thinker, knows his stuff, knows Barkley might have to pick two. Doesn't want to take too many risks as the Estonian. He knows better. He will want very much to have a goal, but only when he feels it can happen. Through Blanchimont and the turn afterwards they go. Cabot clips the curb lovely. Gets a run. When he go into the bus stop, no he doesn't. Doesn't dive bomb. Nico Barkley will want to run back into run into Lacombe's then, or maybe into La Source if he's feeling frisky, as Nico Barkley starts lap 5 of this race.
He knows that this race is still a long way to go. More than 3/4 of the race still to go, and Cape knows that. Just applying some pressure to Barkley, trying that Barkley will make a mistake in his hopes, and then just going past easily, but also, well, still being able to make a move in this range.
That's absolutely it. You've got to keep your opponents under pressure, as in any sport. Hope they force a mistake and take advantage to win. It's like sport... Hang on.
I'd expect the Ferraris to pit because they're not so good at fuel saving compared to like the Corvettes.
Good point from Matthew Anthony that we just raised earlier. Ferraris may have to pit because they're not as good on the fuel as the other cars. So, as I said, can have difficulty in a 1 hour race with not stopping. So these might have to pit. That would give Jacobs an advantage and just keep with them. Then again, these two are blindingly quick on Barkley and Cabot. And I know that they could quite easily take the lead back from Jacobs were he to assume it. Quick shout out to Casper College in all this. He's P9, and that is a great result for the Irish.
Yes, for all this trouble, he kept level-headed and made his way up the order after all these accidents that happened. Didn't get collected and evaded the huge accident at Blanchimont there.
And we got Matthew.
Yes, definitely right behind that. Van der Sloot is okay. I'd lost him for a second there. Van der Sloot right behind him, and right behind that is Marius Nicolai.
Yes, a big four-way fight for P10 here. Chair going under some serious pressure, but Kolodziejczyk, you're right, has just kept a level head. Not the fastest of drivers on the field, but much like myself, I would like to say, he's very sensible and can take advantage of mistakes. I like Casper because he's sensible. He's a sensible driver.
He is a very sensible driver. He's insanely fast on the LMP2. I know that because I'm his teammate in VC. But as he said it himself, he's not that much of a fan of GT cars. But he can still keep it together in these cars, and is not the slowest in them.
He can. A very good driver to have on the team, but he's proven it here today. Casper back up the front of the field, though. We have Barkley Cabot still going on. Cabot looks to be losing out. Cabot looks to be losing out in the dirty air, as Matthew Hampton says. He looks to be losing out there, which is why he can't make anything happen, but nonetheless, he's gaining the ground in the corner, so he's proving he has that. Jerwin into P9 as we have a Daniel Benefield who's spun. P13 for Benefield now, under threat from Moby when he catches up, but he also
That also means that Kolodziejczyk is up in
the
P8.
best race of his life. Kolodziejczyk takes P8 as a result. I lost it on the curve at the bus stop apparently. Not good. But what is good is P8 for Kolodziejczyk. He's having a barnstorm of race and he hasn't had to do an awful lot. Sensibility pays dividends. And Edgar Ruiz in P5 for YTF1. Fantastic result for him, but he is under pressure from the Venezuelan Argentina Riera in all this. Also for RPM Racing. RPM Racing seem to have a talent of ranking these good drivers now. They've got Olsen and Riera. They are leading. Well, I say that. Well, they were leading, but then leading effectively quite up the order. Then Olsen had his due. Riera still in 6th though, so solid result could come home. As Cabot closes in again on Barkley. We've seen this before. It closes in the corners, but on the straights it doesn't happen to the Estonian.
And Barkley locks up. Capate is now closing again.
He's giving him a jolly good cause, the Estonian. You've got to give Bristol credit. He's sticking with it. Credit must be given, and well, it's being given. We know exactly what he's capable of. We've seen it happen with our own eyes before, and he's more than capable of making it happen again. But he's closer than ever. If this is not a move going into the bus stop, then Risto has turned down an ace opportunity. He's coming through Blanchimont behind Cabot.
Right behind each other.
He lifts off.
Getting a bit of oversteer there.
This
Keeps
might
together.
be a move from the Estonian coming into the bus stop. He goes down the inside, but no ground gained. He'll have to make a move into La Source. Otherwise, he's passing up too many opportunities.
Great car control from Cabot through the Blanchimont corner, though. Definitely, you could see him starting to oversteer, almost the same as we had with the accident earlier.
But he's closing in through La Source. That's the thing, though. It's all right being conservative, but you have to take some opportunities when they arise. And Risto Cabot it's a long race, but he's not taking some of the opportunities just yet. Maybe that'll change in the later stages. But right now, I don't think he's close enough. To make it work down the Kemmel Straight here. And meanwhile, Matthew Churgren has started to pull a gap away from Nicolai and Van der Sloot. That in itself is a battle for P10 between the Dutchman and the German, I believe. So, a nice little duel going on for P10 and all that. And, well, look at this. Captain and Barkley close again. This is not an overtaking zone, though, for the Estonian. His best shot is to force a mistake through Puan, but that's not really looking likely at the moment. Kemmel Straight would be a great chance for him if he can make it work.
Capet has had some great exits from Eau Rouge.
Has to make the opportunity happen and take it before he can make an overtake happen on the Kemmel Straight.
And he's closing again through Puan. Could make a move into Canvas.
He's almost pushing Nico Barkley down the straight down the outside. He's going to go down the outside here through Campos. Campos even. No, he's not, but he tries. He gives Nico Barkley all the warning signs. I'm coming for you, he says. And rightly so. Barkley's got some serious Estonian food for thought. If anyone knows what's pressure, you see.
Getting loose there.
He's starting to put the
Getting loose once again. Is he losing it? Oh my God.
This is exactly what he wants. He's not going to go around the outside of Blanchimont, is he? This would be an insane move from Cabot if he can make it work. Barkley's squeezing him for all it's worth. But the Estonian's still there. Round the corner to go, still there. Now whatever from Cabot. Is he going to go through into the bus stop? Going to break for the turn now? He's lost too much time again. He keeps losing time, and that's what's hurting him.
But those two fighting, though, with getting loose and everything, is allowing Thomas Jacobs to close up again.
It is, yes. It's putting the pressure on Barkley as well. If anyone knows any dishes at the Circuit Estonia, please do leave it to comment, because I'm stuck for words here. I'm just saying Estonian food. But food on Thomas Jacobs' line will be the lead, because he can see the leaders now, and will want to chase them down. Definitely want to chase them down. Indeed. We'll want that. Very, very much. But what Nico Barkley wants is to keep this lead, which he holds with just under 20 minutes gone in the race. 2/3 of the race left to go. And Bristol Cabot putting some serious pressure on him, but not enough to make him slip yet. He slipped a bit, but no major slips. Goes to show how calm Barkley is. I would find it incredibly difficult to stay calm in that sort of situation when you got Bristol Cabot breathing down your neck. Bristol Cabot breathing down his neck. Seriously, he's not going to go through here, obviously. Not going to go for it. He knows better. Might not have worked out if he had, but nonetheless, he's going to wait for his chance. Possibly force a mistake through Prawn again. That might be a decent chance to be thrown in, but might not work. May work, may not. No mistake from Barkley yet. He goes and clips the curb, so he'll have to be camel straight or back straight once again for Cabot. I'm going to look further down the field. I bet you something happens between these two when I do. But further down the field, we have Matthew Churgwin closing on College Agic. Behind them, Van der Sloot has dropped off Kawantha, who's now P11, and Nicolas is still there in the mix in P10. Cabot on the back of Barkley again, though, for the lead once more. It's worth noting there is a battle for the last point pay position as well, but Bristol Cabot, he's charging again. He's having another go, trying to unleash the power. Goes on the inside of Blanchimont this time. Has Barkley let him through? Yes, he has, almost. Now, I'm interested to see whether that was a very quick change. I'm interested to see whether Barkley just let him through. I'm going to check the telemetry on that one. I'm not sure. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. And Barkley pits. That was probably why. He didn't want to fight him if he pits, and he comes in now, but only 20 minutes gone. Then again, so it was Florence for at least 40 minutes. As Matthew Churgwin now fights Casper College Agent for P8. This is going to be a nice, interesting one for the two of those, I am sure of it. But Bristol Cabot now has a healthy lead over Thomas Jacobs, who's in P2. Jacobs will be hoping to no-stop this race, of course. Cabot may have to stop. Now, whether Bristol Cabot is going to respond to Nico Barkley pitting here is an interesting one. They've been close on pace, so it'd be interesting if they didn't pit together, but maybe Cabot's got his own strategy and is going to employ that to a potential race win. Nonetheless, if he can't pull out enough of a gap on Jacobs, Nico Barkley's going to come down well out the order here. He's going to lose. He's going to drop out of the points at this rate. But the boss is going to overtake him. No, he's going to come out 13th rather, my mistake. Ahead of Christoph Lichtenstein in the Viper, also in the points for Epic Racing. But Bristol Cabot needs to put the hammer down and get enough of a gap to pit. Good point as well. Nico Barkley not has the cleanest of air in the world, but he's going to make do with what he has. Bristol Cabot, though, has got to start making the ground happen on Jacobs. If he doesn't get enough time, this could work well for the Englishman, and he could take the race win if Cabot makes a mistake. But then again, Cabot is not the type to make mistakes, as we've seen. Yes, indeed, we shall go with what we have on the screen. And, well, I don't know what's happening anymore. I've lost track already. Need more beer. It's been a good race so far, hasn't it, Nico? David Newton is out. David Newton is out. That's an unfortunate one. What's happened there? I'll have to have a look on the replay, but then again, my replays are really laggy, so I don't know what's happening. Just seemed to retire for me. But yeah, it's been a good race so far, hasn't it, Nico?
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, we've lost, I think, 6 cars already, or 7, if I remember correctly. And, yeah, we had quite some tense moments already. And I'm just trying to find out why David Yunt has retired now.
Yeah, while you're working on that, I can report we have a battle in the making for P4. And we also have a battle for P12 between Barkley and Moby. Barkley all over the back of the Englishman. And this is not a fight for the highest position in the world, but it was a person who was leading the race and then now second and then pits. So, Nico Barkley, let's see what the Peruvian is capable of going through Blanchimont here. And then coming down towards the bus stop, let's see what he can do. Is he going to go for Barkley at the bus stop? I doubt he is, but he could give it a go if he's feeling fire enough. He does not, but he closes and slight mistake from Nico's person ahead of him there. Paul Morby makes a slight error, allows him to close in more. This is what to keep an eye on.
And David Yunt has retired because he had a huge accident at the exit of Eau Rouge.
Oh, what's this? Matthew Churgwin! has dropped down to P11 in all this.
Oh, yeah.
He's gone from 8th to 11th, and how has that happened?
Oh,
It looks to be some sort of
messed up at
connection.
Rouge, I think.
He's had a freeze
No.
connection issue, and he's down in P11. Colin JJ up to 7th. And Nicolas under pressure from Carantha now. This is involved with P8. Carantha goes around the outside of Nicolas. Nicolas even going into the Lacombe, and he doesn't take the place, but he was given a good run there. Race of the season, maybe? I don't know, but it seems like it so far, this one. Marif starting to be caught by Jonas Riera for P4 as well. No matter where you look, there's a battle. It's that good a race. There's always fights up and down the grades. We've got Sherman Van der Sloot trying to push for P8. Jonas Riera trying to push for P4. Hillebrand trying to fight back to the position that he once held. That was P8. And Risto Kappet running away with it. 4.5 seconds now between him and Jacobs. The Barkley has passed Nico. Oh, yep. Look at this. So many cars. And we got Fuller and Benefield. And it's a disaster again.
Both in the wall. And the Breeze misses Benefield's rack barely.
Yes, what happened there? There was 3 cars going into a corner. That was never going to work. But Bart DeVos and Benefield and Fuller all getting involved in a bit of a shambles there. There's Bart DeVos still has it front spreader. But that's... And Mark Fuller's lost the wheel. Benefield's lost the wheel. He is out of the race. Fuller looks to have retired as well. Marcus Riffle jumps up the P18 in all the carnage. A bit of a disaster. Bit of a disaster here, but still, it's tense stuff.
And meanwhile, we've got a freeway fight for 8th place now.
We do. Nicolai, Carantha, Van der Sloot. These 3 drivers. Van der Sloot on Carantha here. They're coming down the front straight into La Source. The Dutchman not going to try anything just yet, but he's going to give it a go. When I say give it a go, I mean line up the move. And that's not worked to his advantage because he's now losing time to Carantha going into Eau Rouge. Carantha, though, looking to gain time on Nicolai. This could be 8th position for the Peruvian, if he can make it work. Dax Racing, of course, have had a good debut season so far. In World GT, Nicolai makes a mistake. Carantha down the outside. Deja vu all over again for the Peruvian. Will he be able to get through this time?
Much more speed, though.
Looks to be through already, and yes, he is. Diego Carantha, but Nicolai still threatening. Not enough, though. Carantha into P8. Good move from the Peruvian, indeed. Nicolai will pressure that if Van der Sloot doesn't get to him first, that is. Now the Dutchman won this piece of the German again. This could be a fight on our hands, but further up the field, a fight that could be on our hands soon is Edgar Ruiz versus Argenis Riera. Riera not far from Ruiz at all, the YTF1 driver. We're doing a brilliant job out at P4, it must be said, hats off to him. But Riera is a very talented driver who will want to close him down as soon as possible. Definitely going to be the goal here for Riera. Wants to do that, wants to make it happen, wants to make it work. Darren, the Christoph Rich inside in P15 as well. At the last points paying position, but he's doing a good job in it. He is quite a way ahead of Gerrit de Vries behind him. So no threat in his point space yet, but he is chasing Boston Ross for even more points. Can be Viper versus BMW, before we know it here. And that Viper is a good all-round car, despite it not being very popular. It does sound amazing, it must be said. Can be very, very good at long runs, that car. But if you want to do endurance racing on long runs, it's arguably the best car for long stints, the Viper. So
unfortunately, this is a sprint championship.
Unfortunately, this is a sprint championship, so that's not going to aid Epic Racing whatsoever here, because it's not quite as quick as its counterparts, being handicapped for that 8-litre engine, but nonetheless, a good car and good package nonetheless. Guerrero, though, using his Ferrari package to good extent to try and catch Ruiz in the Corvette. We all know how quick the Ferrari is, but we know it's having a hard time in not pitting in a sprint race. So we shall see how this pans out for the Ferrari drivers. So he has a fantastic run on Ruiz going into Lacombe here. Well, this is not Lacombe, is it? Is this Lacombe? It is Lacombe. It is Lacombe. I got it right first time learning the track, Josh. But he doesn't get the move done, unfortunately. As we have a potential fight again for P9, Van der Sloot versus Nicolai. Looking at the liveness, It looks to me that Van der Sloot has a significant speed advantage in that draft. 167 mile an hour versus 170. It's not significant enough, but Mortley pits from P17. He will lose time. Van der Sloot still chasing down Nicolas, though. We all know how good Marius Nicolas is, but P9, a very respectable result so far. We're approaching the halfway mark of this race yet, and only Nico Barkley and Philip Morby have pitted so far. That's interesting, isn't it, Nico? Because they might be saving it for later in the race. Evidently, it doesn't quite go, but nonetheless, at the halfway mark of this race, which we'll be passing very soon, Bristol Cabot is the leader. 30 minutes down, 30 to go, and the Estonian is dead set to make it 4 from 4. Remember that only one person in the history of the GPVWC has won every single race in the season. That was Dave Carr-Smith winning 4 from 4 in the 2012 edition of this very competition, actually. If Bristol Cabot can go 5 from 5 in the next round, he will effectively overhaul that, as there will have been more races. He will not win every race in the season, because we will not have him, but he will have won more within the season than Mr. Carl Smith did, and he will have a good unbeaten run, although the closest we've had is Eric Strana, who dropped just one race in a complete domination of the Masters Series this year. Strana himself finds himself in P6, not quite close enough to...
has made a mistake through the chicane, and Carantha now very close.
Yes, College Agent slips up, Carantha takes advantage, but as we were saying, the current closest to domination of the season has been Eric Strana, in having only had a 5th place to complement every single other win in the Masters Series. We're not going to see complete domination from Bristol Cabot. He will not win every race this season. As I have it on good grounds, he will not be at the final race, as he has to leave for Estonian military service. But nonetheless, Carantha now
side by side, and Kolajic lets him go.
And into P8 goes Kolajic, and P7 on goes Carantha. Got slightly distracted there, but good job from Diego. And now Dennis Riera on Reith. This has finally happened. Riera into 4th, Reith into P5.
Is it just me, or is it getting darker?
You know what? You're right. It is getting darker. Could we have rain on the horizon? I don't know whether it's forecast or not. I'll check the page.
I don't see much clouds.
Because I'm not sure. I'll check. It usually does rain at Spa, but you never know. I will check the forecast. Right now, we have weather on the GPVWC website, which you can consult if you want to. I'll give it a look. Forecast says clear. Although then again, partially cloudy and cold with rain. By the hour, I can tell you, it is currently 9 p.m, 47 and 40% chances of rain respectively. But then again, what time is it in Belgium? It will be about 10 o'clock, won't it? Or 9 o'clock, won't it? So...
Oh, yes, definitely.
Rain is in the air, but it's not necessarily coming down on the track. I can't see rain with the graphic settings I have, so Mr. Nicolas Hillebrand.
Van der Sloot right behind Nicolas.
Oh, yes.
Van der Sloot goes wide.
Oh, Nicolas Van der Sloot. This is going to be a close one. As I say, Mr. Hillebrand will have to keep me informed on whether it rains or not, because he can see and I cannot.
It's getting lighter now again. But yeah,
it's
something
rain.
that concerned me. I'm easily concerned with that since the 6 of the Fuji last year in BC.
Oh, and for all you Marcos Riffle fans out there, he has now retired from the race. Down on the Sloot's gone well inside, though. A very defensive move already. Nikolai now challenging Kolajic. This is for P8. The Irishman versus the German, and it's going to be a one-on-one scrap for the position. We have word that Nico Barkley's catching Sherman Van der Sloot and the likes of this, but Nikolai is a stupendous run going into the coupe here. Game set rest before we even get to the corner, and Marius Nikolai jumps himself into P9 contact between him and Kolajic. The Irishman doesn't want to let it go, but now he's going to let Van der Sloot go almost. Van der Sloot's going to try on the outside. He's not in the way.
That car has not made
Barkley,
up. Barkley
look
got
at this.
past.
He spliced through the traffic, and now he's going to just challenge Casper. This could be positions all over for the Peruvian if he can get this done.
Rory
But
Collins
a
in the pits now.
nice little jaunty run up the field here for Nico Barkley. He's in P10 right now, challenging for P9.
And Brad Metcalf has retired as well.
Yep, Metcalf out as well. That is unfortunately both TTFs out of the race now. Garrett DeVries still going in the points for our Maroli Racing team. It must be said, Garrett DeVries is going to score here, but Barkley's through on College Eject for P9. There goes the Peruvian, and now we can set his eyes on Marius Nicolai. This will be a chance now for the Peruvian to gain back some lost ground. Risto Cabot likely having to pit. Jacob's 8 seconds behind in all this. We have another pitter, and that is Rory Collins for Racing Team Shorten. In a Corvette, nonetheless. Must be said, people are pitting. Collins probably didn't have much to lose, but Dennis Riera is closing on P3. All of a sudden, we have a battle for the podium in the making. We have a Venezuelan versus a Peruvian. Stacks versus RPM could be about to happen.
Speaking of the top three, at the moment we've got the exact same order as the finishing order in the Turkish GT Cup,
Yep,
which was Capet leading and Jacobs second place and Andres Ladines in third.
Yep, it is a mirror image. It's almost like the status quo has been maintained. That's exactly what's happened. But we do think Risto Cabot might have to pit here. Of course, as we saw with the Ferraris, they are not the best in a 1 hour sprint. Might have to make a stop.
We've got a G-check now.
To the end.
Sorry about that.
G-check has really fallen down because Van der Sloot's challenging for P10. All of a sudden, from 7th to 11th. For College Agent, and Van der Sloot is through. What has happened to the Irishman here?
I think he may have gotten a bit too much heat in his tyres and they degraded a bit faster now.
Yep, next on the list is Matthew Chagrin behind him. Not going to really be good if he catches him. Chuggy going to go up to P11 by the looks of things. Meanwhile, Barkley Nicolai could be about to become a thing, as so to speak. We have Barkley 9th. Challenging the German ahead of it.
Should be ahead now. Well, he should be faster at the moment.
Got to feel the Peruvians' presence. Inside, outside. Where you going, Nico? Inside.
Oh my.
Almost through campus. Brave move. Decides against it at the last minute. Locked up a bit even. So Nicolai runs wide now. Barkley wants to try and gain. He is going to try and try with all his might, but nothing doing for the Peruvian just yet. We'll have to wait, unfortunately, for his time to shine. But he's going to try and try and try here. If he will keep going all race if he has to. Both in Ferraris, both might be subject to a pit stop, but not through Blanchimont. No way, Nico, please. Thinks against it. Thank goodness. That would have been a hard stopper if he'd done that.
Barkley's already did it though, so that might be a new factor as well in this fight.
Yep, absolutely. But I was about to say, if he'd gone through Blanchimont there, my heart would have shot through my mouth. That would have been the scariest move I've seen in a while. Oh, Dennis Riera now. What's happening to Jerry's challenging? That's what he is. Goes for Ladine now. Top 3 battle in progress. Between the two of them, backs out, unfortunately, because he doesn't have the run he wanted. We'll wait for the prime opportunity to overtake the Peruvian. But for now, the Venezuelan is stuck in P4.
But now we've got them coming up to traffic as well.
Yes, traffic. Derek DeVries in all that. P18 has dropped 3 places. Philip Moore be back into the points. Florian Engel, Rory Collins about to get lap 2. DeVries could go into P16 with some fancy footwork here. Don't forget the... Is he Dutch or South African? I can't remember. I think he's Dutch, but he could be South African too. One of the two, I think he's South African. I'll roll with that.
DeVries is Dutch.
DeVries is Dutch, right. Okay, well, he's not South African then. He's Dutch. There you go. But Garrett DeVries, no matter what nationality he is doing well to stay within the points potential as. Barkley past Nicolas. He has done it, has the Peruvian. Diego Carranza next on the hit list for the Peruvian. But Barkley into P8 and climbing. Meanwhile, well, we got the lap cars as we mentioned earlier. I'm looking for a fight further up the field, to be honest. Barkley and Nicolas is over. It's all started to peter out, but Argenis Riera is on the back of this lap traffic. They'll be getting blue flags waved at them. They can't miss them with the flag displays we've got. De Vries lifts, lets Riera through. Smart move. Rory Collins, next on the list. What's he going to do here? Does not let Riera through yet, and almost contact. Riera decides to pit. So, making advantage of that in a way. Argenis
That'll
pits
put Strada into
Rory.
fourth.
And he is in fourth, and Eric Strada is going to go into fourth. Well, if he can no-stop, this could be a great race for the Swedes. Very beneficial. Edgar Reith has lost out somewhere in all this, but Eric Strada and Thomas Jacobs and Carlos Anderson Deans of Capit Pits could pose a threat if it takes too long. So he has 30 seconds on the Swede, 24 seconds on the English Peruvian, and 11 on the Englishman. So maybe Jacobs will go into the lead. It's quite possible that Jacobs will lead, but Riera, sixth ahead of Nico Barkley, has jumped the Peruvian in all this. We lose Nicolas Hillebrand for a short while. He will be back soon, though. Yeah, Nico Barkley has lost out massively here. He's in P8 and now 2 seconds behind Carranza. And Carranza's 20 seconds behind Riera. Mind you, Capit has to possibly pick as well. Though he is doing a barnstorming job out there in P1 at the moment, but when does he not? That is the thing, when does he not do well? He's got a knack for this winning business now, Bristol Captain. He doesn't want to let it go. Strictly speaking, he's 6 from 6 in World GT, because he's won the last 2 races of the 2015 season, and then has started with 4 here, so theoretically he could go 7 from 7 if he wins this. Well, 6 from 6 if he wins this, rather. But 4 from 4 this season if he does. That would equal Carl Smith's record in this series. Will not, as we know, go all 7. But nonetheless, 6 out of 6 competed in would technically still be a perfect record, which nobody has done. As Capit now pits, Capit in. Picks now is his time. Thomas Jacobs will assume the lead for the 6th Axis Racing. And I even brought out the full title there. Yep. I even pulled out the full title there. That's how important it is for them. TSA Racing lead. Capit will pit. Will come out of the pits as the race lead. But by how long? This is a longish stop from Capit. And he exits the pit box now. Let's see how far behind he is. Bristol Capit hitting the pig's exit line now. Jacob passes under the bridge. I'm going to do this by eye. Ledeen has a chance of Capit, but Bristol Capit, I'm still counting with my foot here, about 12 seconds behind Jacobs. 12 seconds in 18 minutes. Can it be done?
Josh, I have a question. How far is Capit ahead of Barkley?
Bristol Capit at present is about where Carlos Deans is, as we know. Although he's about 4 seconds ahead of Peruvian, so I would wager he's 44 seconds ahead of Barkley and all this. That's what counts. Then again, yeah, he has lost out a lot almost, but Capit has got to make up 10 seconds in 18 minutes. That means he's got to average every 2 minutes a second. Since 2 minutes, right, there's a lap around that. We're talking at 1.3 seconds a lap there or thereabouts on Jacobs. Tall order, but we've seen it happen before. Jacobs was lapping in the 2.19s, and before his pit, Capit was lapping in the 2.18s and 17s. Carlos Christoph Lichtenstein, why did I call you Carlos there? Has spun, he's in P14 now, Bartavos at the P13. But Bristol Capit has got to start making significant chunks out of Thomas Jacobs. No less than 1.5 seconds a lap will do. Oh, sorry, that was the other epic. It wasn't Lichtenstein, it was Engel, who has still spun, has not moved. Got to let all this traffic by. Losing time as we speak, but nonetheless, as I was saying, Capit needs to take 40 seconds. In the comments says James Kirk is the difference. That is a lot of difference between Captain and Barkley nonetheless. He's 40 seconds exactly behind Thomas Jacobs. And over an early pit stop. Mind you, Bristol Captain has got a tall order. Has to take 1.5 seconds every lap out of Thomas Jacobs.
That's presuming Jacobs doesn't pit.
If he doesn't pit and continues with the 2.19s, he has to do 2.17s consistently to do that. And his last lap was a 2.30s having pitted. But he was doing quite a few 2.17s, but there were 2.18s and 19s in that combo as well. That won't be enough to catch him at this race. I don't think. This rate, he won't be doing enough. It's going to take a humongous effort in 16 minutes to do it. But what do we keep saying about Bristol Cabot? Never rule him out. Never at all. You'd never rule him out because he's just that good, isn't he, Nico?
Yes, definitely.
He's just that good as Bristol Cabot. Just saying he has to take 1.5 seconds every lap out of Thomas Jacobs, but it's doable. Mind you, if Thomas Jacobs could get a win here, I do believe it would be his first, definitely his first win since the change to R-Factor 2. He did not win a race last season, to my knowledge, but I'm going to go now back in the history archives and find out whether it would be Thomas Jacobs' first win in World GT overall. If it would be his first win, then it would be a fantastic thing to see, of course. He has had fastest laps before, but Thomas Jacobs, nonetheless, has not won within 2013. I don't think he has won a World GT race. This would be his first if he could do it.
He's won in Formula Challenge and ITC.
Leads by 9.9 seconds from Bristol Cabot. We'll have to see what the laps are because that tells the full story, not just sectors. But in all this, let's see if we have any close battles going on. It has all petered out now, unfortunately. It's starting to become spread out. So it's that point of the race where strategy is more important than where you are in relation to other people. Plus, you'll know a lot about strategy, Nico, driving these cars like yourself. Although it's mostly the LMP2, isn't it? Of the same mod. Very rhetorical question there, but nonetheless, I see a slight fight, and that slight fight is for the very important position of P10. Nicolas van der Sloot could be happening. Jacobs' last lap was a 19 dead. Capit's an 18-2. Not enough of a chunk taken out on that lap. It needs to be over a second, you would think. Please, less camera, says Nicky Jakovic. I get you a beer. Well, there you go. Once a beer, do you, Matthew Arlington? Don't do cameras as much then, but I'm sure we need to keep an eye on stuff.
I have several bottles of cider here already.
It's kind of my fault, to be honest, Nicky. I'm telling them what to look at. And I've got an alcohol-free beer, so I don't need one.
Ruth has gone into the pits now. And
Yes,
already
he
out
has.
again.
Edgar Ruiz in the pits for ITF1.
Just out of the pit box. Now coming out of the pit lane, rejoining the race. Right in front of Kasper Kolajicek.
Yep, Edgar Ruiz does rejoin.
And big move for Kolajicek out of La Source there. Accelerating too quickly.
Yeah, Van der Sloot has dropped off the Nicolai in all this. It is all spread out once again, and everyone's racing their own little race at the moment. The biggest race is between these leaders, though, Jacobs and Caput. You want to keep an eye on it because with 13 minutes to go, there's 9 seconds to be gained. So, again, has got to take 1.5 seconds out every lap. That's the thing. Edgar Ruiz may close in on the cars ahead with some speed, but it's these lap times between Jacobs and Cabot we need to be keeping an eye on. Maybe water then? Well, I don't really drink water much. I don't like it as much as I like other soft drinks. I should drink more water. It's good for your mind, but
Cabot just gained half a second.
Cabot just taking half a second out of Jacobs, correct? Well, it all depends on whether you can take that half a second out consistently. Pretty much has to take half a second out every sector, otherwise it's going to be too close and maybe not a move.
Here's the thing, Capit's going to be on fresh tyres, low fuel. compared to his opposition.
Captain on fresh tyres and low fuel. Jacobs not on fresh tyres and low fuel. Jacobs' last lap was a 2:19.2. Captain will need a 2:17.7. He does a 2:18.2. So only a second taken out. Half a second less than what he needs. There's 8.3 with 50 to go. Although that said, 8.3 with 10 to go means 1.6 seconds a lap now. You know what? I think it's going to come down. It's going to be close in the last few laps. And I did say Cameron was the favourite, but if you want to place a late bet, I'd say place it on Jacobs. To be quite honest with you. It might be when my stats are wrong. While the small money is on Bristol Captain, and I will stand my position to say that, hey, I think he's going to win this. If you want to place a nice frisky little late bet, go for Thomas Jacobs.
When was the last time TSA won a race in any series?
That would be a wise choice if you fancy a gamble. Not saying it's a gamble on Jacobs' ability, rather a gamble on Captain's ability to catch up quick enough. TSA Racing could get a win here, and that would be great for them, because wins are always awesome, aren't they? Because wins are good. That, you should have seen that coming if you didn't, but nonetheless. Where am I going with this line of argument? I do not know. Help me, Nico. Say something clever.
I think to the best of my knowledge, the last win for TSA in any GPVWC series was in the International Touring Cup back in 2013. The last
time, I'm going to go check when TSA Racing last won a race, because that's the point that Matthew Hampton's brought up. When did they last win? He asked. I will go find out. Good idea if I do, because, well, let me know. If Cameron Bruce or any TSA Racing team member is in the comments, please tell us when they last won a race. Saves me a lot of bother. Nonetheless, we do still have a late race leader in Thomas Jacobs. His last lap was a 2:18.8, and Cappett's last lap, Bristol Cappett has just done a 2:18.6. He's not closing in quick enough at all. I think it's worth looking at the battle for P9 now. Not looking likely anymore that Bristol Cappett will be doing enough to catch Thomas Jacobs. Sharon Van der Sloot and Edgar Reith, though, doing enough to keep with each other. That much is for certain. Let's keep a beady eye on that, because Reith has had a good race so far. And I'm sure, Nico, he will want this P9 as he closes in very quickly.
Reith now obviously on new tyres and everything. Oh well, at least on lower fuel. Fresh out of the pits just a couple of laps ago. And he'll try his best now to get past the non-stop driving Van der Sloot.
Lower fuel is always a good thing. Because it means you don't have to carry as much weight. Weight is not a good thing to have in life, because...
Especially on these GT cars.
James Kirk in comments says he doesn't think TSA have ever won a GPV. I don't think that's true myself, but...
I believe they won under the Playseat Racing guys when they fielded two teams in the ITC.
It's possible they've won under different guys or with an affiliated team, but the TSA Racing outfit itself, I don't know whether they have ever won. But nonetheless, we will have to have a look at that. I'm checking through I'm frantically checking through the archives. I want to find out. Definitely has not won within the last few years. I don't think they have. Have not won in the last few years. It's possible they have. Playseat have won before, but I don't think TSA. P9, no, Van der Sloot versus Ruiz. This is a battle.
And Van der Sloot goes wide.
And Van der Sloot off. And that all of a sudden promoted Ruiz into a very solid P9. What a good result for him. This is going to be interesting.
Jacobs in the pits.
Jacobs in the pits. Jacobs in the
lead.
He is indeed blinked, and Bristol Cappett resumes the lead. Well, he does pit in the end, unfortunately, and any chance of a win, you would think, goes away with it. Thomas Jacobs, though, still going to come out in second by the looks of things, but Cabot leads once again. I was looking forward to a last lap thriller, and it's not going to happen now. I'm sad.
At this rate, we're going to have the same podium as in Istanbul, so...
Yeah, could still have the same, yeah. Still the same as last race, could still do, you know? Absolutely.
There's always something, isn't there? Mr. Cabot always gets another way of keeping on these great...
There's always something to keep us awake in GPV racing, isn't there? Always something.
Nicolas in the pits.
Nicolas does pit, another Ferrari. It's the thing with these couple of last minute pitters, indeed.
Got a J-check back in 10th.
Indeed, P5, let's look at P5. Eric Strana has made a great race, 10th to 4th. Carlos Andres Adines, 22nd to 3rd, though. Better recovery drive. He is so good, isn't he, at this race lock? Oh, he's become good. From 22nd, that's a great cry, 22nd to 3rd.
We also got a battle for 5th place at the moment. Barkley versus Rera.
Barkley versus Riera, yeah. We still got that in the run. We have that to look at. Barkley Riera, P6, P5. This could be a run, and it could be more points for Barkley. Could help things out. They both stopped, so it looks to be a last lap thriller in that sense. Bristol Capper, though, with 5 minutes to go, is going to take yet another win by the looks of things. Going to make it 6 from 6 effectively. But I think that would have been what could have been for Jacobs had he not stopped, but maybe it just wasn't possible. Maybe he was never thinking of a no stop.
Damn, Barkley went off.
Barkley has gone a bit wonky, and that's let Riera get a nice bit of air. The second separates them now. And that's going to mean the Peruvian has to do the hard work all over again now.
At least Barkley's still driving. That was very close to the tyre wall there.
It was, yes, very close. Almost threw it away in one fell swoop, but has not done. It's still racing, and that's what's important. As is commonly the case in GT racing, I think this is going to be the second and last lap, personally, or one of the second and last laps. It's going to be up there with the last few laps. 2 or 3 to go in this race. And Risto Capet, as he has sometimes been called, is most definitely first. Captain, of course. Sets to dominate once again, and, well, at this rate, they could wrap the title up. He will probably go, if Jacobs remains where he is, there'll be a 5-point difference. He'll go 31 points clear by the end of this. He'll go 31 points clear. Well, I tell you what, he's going very quickly today, isn't he, Risto Capet? He's blooming quick. Very, very quick. He said, I think last race in the interview, he said he has to go fast. And he has gone fast.
He is going fast.
He's going faster than a fast thing. I mean, you know what it is? I'm going to break out the song and I'm going to say, Risto, he's the fastest thing alive right now because he is leading and winning.
Oh dear.
I should be killed immediately. Yes, we're going to have a brand new lead commentator for World GT next round. My existence will no longer be in effect after this race. Fancy doing lead comms, Nico?
Yeah, I mean, it would be quite a shame to lose a lead commentator like you.
But
if it comes to that, I would be up for the challenge, I hope.
No, I'm not good. I just told nonsense for an hour. That's all I do. We're going to battle for P5. It's been Matthew. It tells us all the interesting things. P5 on the brink of brinkiness, though. I think this is going to be the last lap. I think this is the last lap of the race. 58 to go. It's a 2-minute plus lap. Could be the last one of the race as Captain has started it. Meanwhile, we do have a battle for P5. Barkley Riera set to become a thing. Indeed. But nonetheless, in the comments.
Oh, they're also gaining on Strana now.
James Kirk, my man, what are you thinking? Hillison, ship it. No. Just no. Well, what will be Thomas Jacobs will be saying. Oh, I was about to say Barkley will be now saying, oh no, well, Vieira will be saying, oh no, because Barkley's about to go through. Look at this from the Peruvian, about to take P5 away from the Venezuelan and has done. But they even get to Eau Rouge, too wide into the corner. This spells disaster. Vieira backs out, thank goodness. I thought we were going to say another week's hidden there. That would not have been fun, but this is probably going to continue. Herrera is gunning for it. He wants this position. He's not going to give it up without a fight. He wants it. Can he outbreak Barkley? Yes, he can do the can indeed. And Argenis Herrera cannot, but he's just spun. And therefore stopped himself from getting P5. Well, that was an unfortunate end to a very fortunate race, and Barkley will surely have P5 now. Chasing down Strana for P4, potentially doable by the end of this race. Potentially a lap left, potentially the last lap. Capet coming through Stavelot, down through Blanchimont. I'm keeping an eye on the timer. I've got my suspicions it will elapse before he gets to the finish line. It has 60 minutes. This is the last lap, and it's going to be the last lap, of course. Race still Capet then. Through the bus stop chicane, 2 turns left. Manoeuvres the right, 1 turn left. I didn't know whether he's going to do it before, but it's going to be 4 from Race still Capet. Domination once again from the Estonian for Street Fighter and him. The perfect form of the Estonian. He's done it again. Thomas Jacobs will come home in P2 and all this, and a what could have been scenario for the Englishman. Arguably could have won if he'd not stopped, but such is life. It's Carlos Andres Aldin's P3 for Stax Racing, and it is a carbon copy of the top 3 from the last race. Capet,
Strana in fourth place.
Strana under threat from Barkley, but he will hold the position from the Swede for a quite phenomenal comeback to P4. Barkley to P5. Argenis Herrera will hold 6th after a mistake at the end. Diogo Quaranta will be 7th in all this. Ruiz in the end will be 9th. 8th. Van der Sloot 9th by the looks of things. Kolodziejczyk will be 10th. As Quaranta crosses the line. Ruiz crosses the line. Van der Sloot manoeuvres the bus stop with Kolodziejczyk in tow. Good recovery to P10, all things considered, and a top 10 for the Irishman will be a very good position indeed. It's a 4-10 for Ice Cold, which considering the start of the season is a very good thing. Sherman 11th, Nicolas looking to be 12th. Then, must be said, Bart de Vos, P15, 13 it's looking to be. Yep, Nicolas 12th, de Vos looking to be 13th in all this. A quiet race from the Belgian at his home circuit, but points for Cosmo is always a good thing, as he will manoeuvre the bus stop chicane and bank those points indeed. And it is points for Epic Racing as well. Christoph Lichtenstein under threat from Philip Orby in these last 3 corners, but I think it's too little too late for the Englishman to take P14. The German former Supercup champion.
Or is it not? Is he going to make a move?
Don't say die, says Morby. He's charging. And gives it the stride.
Morby overcooks it.
Tries, pushes as hard as he can in the end. Almost causes disaster, unfortunately. But no extra points for Morby. P15 it'll have to be. De Vries 16th, Collins 17th, Engel 18th, Berg 19th, the rest of the finishers. And that rounds out what was a sensational Belgian GT Cup. What a race, Nico!
Absolutely fantastic.
Those 2 words going all up, don't it? Absolutely fantastic. And speaking of fantastic things, we are now going to start the fantastic interviews, and well, there's no other way to put it. We're starting with Mr. I Can Dominate Any Race I Enter, Mr. Risto Capet.
Hi.
You've done it again. 4 from 4. What's your secret, honestly? This is just phenomenal stuff. It's 4 from 4, and this now puts you a full, guaranteed, well, pretty much guaranteed, 31 points ahead of Thomas Jacobs with 3 rounds to go. If you can do that 2 more times, if you win every single race and Thomas Jacobs is second every race, that of course win the championship. But do you think you can make it 6 from 6? I wouldn't put it past you.
Yes, I do. It wasn't easy. I know that Borja Milano was fast as well, and Nico and others, so I was feeling vulnerable, but yeah, it happened again. I don't know what to say anymore.
Can anything stop you?
Well, I'm sure if people practice and if I make mistakes and the weather and somebody can try to no stop and every track is different, so you never know, but I don't know. I will keep trying as hard as I can, so it will be hard for sure. I'm quite well tuned into the smalls. I mean, I sent my setup before the race, so should be no questions there, but we'll see. People have to try very hard.
Well, you must feel unstoppable with such good results for you and Street Fighter as well. You know, it's been an interesting season for Street Fighter. You're leading the championship in the standings, teams championship. That shouldn't change after this race, even though it's most of it. Although that said, you did have James Johnson at Istanbul to help with things.
Yeah, this is where I have no idea where JJ is. He's last active 7 hours ago. Maybe he died or something. But yeah, I will keep doing my best. Let's see. I hope we win it. But we will definitely need a stable second guy to have a chance, because there are a few teams with stable 2 guys who will beat us if this keeps up. So we need to work hard to get the second guy to drive.
Indeed, yes. And, well, you can't help but feel unstoppable. And, you know, even as a one-man show, as yourself, being the only car here, you're pretty good at doing that. And, well, I think the decals on your car really summed your race up for us, you know? Just going fast and getting it done, and that's what sums you up, really. So, you know, fitting in the end, wasn't it? Well done, Risto, on another fantastic win. P1, once again, who will beat you?
Thanks. Nobody.
And we move now to second place, Thomas Jacobs, who got another second to rule with your second that you got last race. Well done, Thomas. Another solid second for TSA.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise because all of our testing up until now, we were thinking, you know, these Ferraris are quick in the straight line. Well, every other car, we have the slowest top speed. We were just trying to get the tyres to work. We spent quite a few evenings just wondering what was wrong with the car. We just couldn't get a good setup. And then in practice, we managed to kind of tweak a few things, tweak the tyre pressures, and it felt all right. Didn't know where we'd end up. Qualified 6th yet again. And yeah, good race. We always knew that it was going to be a push on fuel. If we were going to kind of go for the no stop, we'd either need to kind of hold back a lot and lose a lot of time, or we did actually think about starting from the pit lane to try and save 3 litres. But we decided, you know, we won't risk it. We'll go flat out, try and, you know, pit, put in a few litres and go out again. Saw Risto pit, and I just kind of looked down my fuel, like, you know, I'll pit. And then as I came out, I then realised I maybe could have made it, but as I crossed the line, 1 litre down, you know, I think I made the right choice. Just trying to save that little bit of fuel would have put me behind Risto anyway, so I think I made the right and safe choice.
Well, indeed, sometimes risk equals reward, but sometimes it doesn't. And for TSA, a very solid race, continuing a charge towards the team's championship, which will surely be the goal going forwards.
Indeed. I mean, we got some strong tracks that me and Churgwin know coming up. I mean, we did them last year, so we have prior knowledge. We're looking forward to it, but also, you know, Risto just seems to be unstoppable at the moment. Maybe I could have had something today, but I'd rather not risk it. I think Risto's wrapped up the drivers as long as he doesn't have any incidents and issues like Kevin did towards the end of last year. But yeah, we're just going to try and focus on the teams. Yeah,
That's all they can do in some situations. Well done on P2, though Thomas Fuller really deserved. We don't have a caller from whose leads, but we have the next best thing. We have an Eric Strano with us.
Yes, hello.
P4 for you in this World GT race from P10, so a very, very good climb up the order. It's good to see you back on the grid. Good to see you back in a nice cold car. Just sum up your race forward.
Yeah, I mean, I got told a couple of hours before that Tommy could race. So I was like, wonder if anyone wants to race, and everyone said no. I was like, right, I'll just do it myself then. So I had about, like, I don't know, 3/4 of an hour of practice, and it was all right. With a bit more practice, I probably could have been able to qualify a bit higher up, but it still did the trick. And then, yeah, I just thought that I'll try no stop because I thought that pitting would lose you more time because it seemed like you only lost about 15, 20 seconds, or at least if my timing was correct. So I thought you'd lose a bit more, but so I just thought no stop, and I just hang on to, I think it was Marius who showed up in the final few laps. So that was tight. Had a 0.1 of a liter as I went across the line. So that was nice.
Well, that's about as close as you get, isn't it, really? It's going to help Ice Cold's Championship Challenge, of course. These influx of points going to push you up past a couple of teams, I suspect. Really going to rate affairs, and hopefully you'll be able to keep it up for the rest of the season as well. Are you staying with it for the rest of the season, Eric, or...?
No, this was just a one-time thing. Unless some crisis happens like it did today, then I'm not planning on racing anymore World GT, but you never know.
A shame, but... such is life. Sometimes the best things never last, and such is this broadcast. This has not lasted much longer because it's the end. We are done, finished, and well, Nico, it's been a cracker of a race, but on to the next race now. On to round 5, unfortunately. That is going to be what we do, but it's been a good race, hasn't it?
Yes, it has been an absolutely stunning race. We had action all the way through. Sadly, a lot of accidents, as I presume, because Spa is still an insanely fast track, insanely easy to make mistakes. Next time we'll be at Brno in the Czech Republic, and let's see what will await us there.
Indeed, yep, Brno. Next up, in a month's time, we have finished our little 2-week burst, and we are going to the next nice little 1-month thing. But coming up in GPV, because it is not over yet, it's Monaco week, that's right! The crown jewel of the calendar returns from the 3rd to the 5th of May in the career ladder, and we'll see some fantastic racing there. And not long after that, on the 10th of May, is the Storm Charge Manicourt Historic in the Vintage Series. That will see
It's been a while since we've seen Manicourt.
1991 Formula One cars return. A while since Manicourt has been on the calendar. Welcome return, the home of my very first GPVWC sim race.
2013, if I remember correctly.
2013, what a throwback. And then after Manicourt, it is the Canadian Sports Series and the Canadian Grand Prix. But that's a while off. And what's a while off is the next World GT race of the month. Be there, be square, and until then, I've been Josh Anderson, and please do keep it toasty. See you later.